Welcome into Sports Talk with Theo Dorsey. South Georgia, let's talk sports. An object in motion stays in motion. It's something I picked up in physics class, and thanks to a physics teacher, the Lee County girls soccer program has been consistently moving in the right direction. Dave Baltenberger took over as the Lee County head coach in 2009. Since, all he's done is win 124 games and make the playoffs every single season. Unlike many coaches that have joined the show, Baltenberger's journey to Lee County had little to do with the actual sport of soccer. Yet and still, he's seen success on the sidelines out at Trojan Field. The Lady Trojans have exited the playoffs in the second round this week, but Baltenberger kept his promise to me by joining us for Sports Talk tonight. So welcoming in 10-year vet almost by chance as the head coach of Lee County, Dave Baltenberger. Thank you so much for joining the show.
Thank you very much. Good to be here.
And I appreciate you for coming in the studio. And we talked a little bit about, before we turned the cameras on, about your journey here.
Yes.
An odd one, but before we get into all of the particulars of how you got to Lee County, I want to go over your coaching resume, which is so extensive in sports. As you see, Lee County, soccer, that's it. That's it, yeah. That's all there is. That's all it is. So from 2009 to 2018, you coached the Lee County soccer girls as the head coach. Yes. Before that, I mean, I listed some of your other things because I didn't want to leave it blank there. A PhD in crop breeding, plants genetics from Purdue.
Yes, sir.
1987. Yes. And then you're a Louisville, Kentucky native. And let's start it off by, I mean, you got to Lee County as you were doing sugar beets in Wyoming.
That's true.
Out of Purdue.
Yes.
And then you got that call to come down to South Georgia to do corn.
Yes, sir.
In 1990. And then I want to, before we talk, because I have corn later on in the show, because I have plenty of questions.
We'll do it.
I want to know, how did you become a soccer coach? Because you didn't play soccer growing up.
That's true, yeah. Like I say, I became a teacher about 12 years ago, and I started in Mitchell Baker, was there for a year, and then I got a chance to come to Lee County because that's where my kids were in school there. So got a chance to come. They took a chance on me, to be a teacher, and I was there for a couple years doing JV soccer. They came to me when I got there because I had a little coaching experience doing, just rec and things like that, and so they said, come on. And so I did JV for 2 years, and then the varsity coach decided to hang it up, and they said, are you going to take it? And I said, okay, let's give it a shot.
For you, I mean, how much pressure was that? You didn't play soccer that much. You kind of stepped into coaching just to coach your daughter when she was 4.
Right.
And now you're the varsity head coach at a big program.
Exactly, yeah. I was a little nervous at first, but I've been blessed with really good players and some really good coaches to help me. And I try to watch what other people do and do, watch people who are good at this and do what they do. But just have fun with good players, and you can go a long way.
And one of the players of the many that you've coached over the decade at Lee County was your daughter, your own daughter.
Yes.
And let's talk about just the Baltenberger family, the Baltenberger bunch, if you will, because we got some good pictures of them.
Oh, yeah?
This has been your support system. You married your wife out of Purdue.
Correct. Yeah, we met at Purdue.
Yep. And then, moved on down here to Lee County in 1990.
We have 3 kids. Chris is the oldest, Kimberly is the second, and Becky Jo's the youngest. All are past college age at this point. The youngest one is getting ready to graduate out of graduate school at this point to be an occupational therapist. Oldest is a cop, and the middle child's a dietitian in Atlanta. So
a lot of variety there.
Yeah, exactly.
How many of them played soccer?
Just the youngest.
Just the youngest one. She's the one that's gotten you to.
She's the one that started this whole thing.
It is such an interesting track, just because most coaches we brought into the studio, they've either been ball players their whole life and knew they want to coach, and almost taught so they could coach. Right. Whereas you, your story's a little different.
Yeah, I enjoy teaching, and I'm a teacher first and a coach second. And I think they go together, because in teaching you build relationships with kids, you try to get them to buy into what you're doing and teach them something that they don't know, or to make them better at what they do. And I think coaching is the same thing. You build relationships with kids, and you want them to buy into the team concept and work together. So teaching is very similar. And
you do. I don't have any reports from your students, but from your student athletes at least, you do an excellent job. So I assume in the classroom as well.
Well, I hope so. Yeah.
you're teaching some bright minds there, and that's a good job. So for you, soccer, and it's going to sadden me to say, and I'm hoping this isn't news to everybody else. It was news to me when you told me. You decided that the 10th year, the decade mark, will be the last one for you. You guys just wrapped up in the second round.
We did.
An excellent run that you had, making the playoffs every year. What was the decision-making process of retiring?
For me, it was just 10 years felt like the right time. I mean, teaching and coaching are 2 very demanding professions, and I felt like it was time to focus more on the teaching as I get close to the end of my teaching career. I'll be 60 on my next birthday, so it's like, time to focus on one or the other, and I felt like the teaching is where I need to focus, and so I can't do both well.
Yeah, yeah.
It's hard to do both well. So.
Yeah, and then you get to spend more time with family and
exactly,
whatnot.
exactly, and spend more time with my teaching career and with my wife.
There it is.
So.
That'll be special. Now we want to look at the 2018 season because just because it's over doesn't mean it wasn't a good one. Your 4th region championship this year. You went 12-7. You lost in the second round of the playoffs against a Greenbrier team out of Evans.
Yes.
But how do you feel about the Lady Trojans' effort in this victory lap of a year for you?
They've been a really good team. As usual, we always play really good in the back. We play good defense, and some years we can score better than others. But overall, it's been a great group of kids. Always a lot of good players. That's what I've been blessed with. And you can be a really good coach when you have really good players.
Definitely so. And you've kind of seen it on the youth level in Lee County on up to varsity. So how much of that in Lee County, because it's always had a good program, is the club teams and the youth teams?
That makes a big difference. Everybody on our varsity team plays club soccer. So that makes our team so much better when they can play, year-round almost. They do take a break, but, yeah, it makes a big difference. And Lee County and Albany, Doherty County has a really good soccer program, and that helps us a lot.
It's got to help. Now, of course, as a coach and as a teacher, I'll let you bunch both together here.
Okay.
As a coach and a teacher, I want to ask you, what has been your favorite moment? You've been in Lee County a while now.
That's true.
So let's narrow it down to coaching first, and then we'll go to teaching. What's been your favorite? What's been your most memorable moment as a coach of this Lady Trojans program?
Gosh. Well, I think I'd have 2. Number 1, getting to the Final Four. That's really exciting.
Yeah.
To get that far. That's a good bunch of kids, and they all bought in, and we did really well. Number 2 would be kind of a sad moment. We lost one of the players on our team one year. She was killed in a car accident, and that's her jersey right there.
Oh, number 16.
Number 16. Madison Stokes was her name.
Madison
the year that first game, we played the first half without her. So we played a man down. And that was a kind of, sad moment, but still one you remember the rest of your life.
And for you as a coach, how were you able to kind of, lead them? I'm sure you had a lot of experience and whatnot.
I mean, it happened in the fall, so we had, time to, but it was an emotional year. Yeah, she was a really good kid. So.
I can only imagine. I'm glad we're able to honor her.
Yeah, that's why I brought her jersey.
We see the number 16 jersey, so we know why.
Nobody's wore that except one person's only worn it since.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's an honor for her, and I'm glad we were able to touch on that.
Yeah.
And then I talked to you about at the beginning of the show, the corn thing.
Yeah.
I had to get into this. I got some video of corn here from Mark's Melon Patch.
Yeah.
I went deep in the files to find this corn footage, and it's going to keep looping. So let's talk about it. What is corn breeding?
Corn breeding is the Monsanto decal. They sell corn hybrids to farmers, so somebody's got to develop the new one.
Yeah.
They got to have something new to sell, so I was research and development. So my job was southeastern United States, develop new corn that they can sell to farmers.
Wow.
So that was my job.
And you were doing that for 15
years.
And you were never thinking you would be a physics. Describe the transition to me at the end there.
Well, at the end, they decided to go a different direction, so they eventually closed the station in Lee County. So I had to find another job. And I went and talked to the principal at Lee County High School at the time, Bill Truby, and he said, you make a really good teacher. And I was like, yeah, right. But he convinced me, and so here we go.
And it's worked out.
Ever since, yeah.
And you jumped into physics first of all subjects.
I didn't jump into physics right away. I jumped, they basically moved me around to a lot of different sciences.
Yeah.
And ended up in physics, and that's where I've stayed. So I really enjoy it.
Well, I won't knock it. If it's working for you, it's working for me.
Yeah.
That's our motto here on Sports Talk. Another thing we do here on Sports Talk every week, and I'm sure you know about it, it's the trivia.
Okay.
Oh, and it goes down in trivia because I'm going to win. I'm going to let you know that up front.
Okay. Well, we'll see.
We'll see. Well, we got trivia right after the break. We got Dave Baltenberger of Lee County. You're going to want to stick around to see who wins in Theo versus everyone.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm John Barron. He's Theo Dorsey. We're joined here with Coach Baltenberger. Thank you so much for joining us, Coach. It's time for trivia.
Here we go.
Everybody, you guys know the name of the game. It's Theo versus everyone. And right now, Coach, I'm going to tell you some of the rules. I know you've seen some.
Sure.
All right. You've seen the show before. All right. Now I'm going to give you a series of 9 questions. The first 3 will be multiple choice. After that, the next 6, you will have to provide me with the answers.
Okay.
All right.
Before
if
this
he
game.
answers wrong in the last 6 and you get a chance to steal, the person with the most balls at the end of the game wins.
You don't have to worry about me answering wrong.
All right, we'll see. All right, Coach. I'm rooting for you. As always, ready? Question number 1. What is the international soccer event called, FIFA or World Cup?
The event is World Cup.
Why'd you ask me that? Yes, that is correct.
He's got the ring down. I got to get
The ring.
Oh, yeah, so the first...
I got a ring.
I was going to say,
got
you have to ring first. He's not going to play nice.
I know.
All right.
I'm out.
Question number 2. Who played goalie for the U.S. in the 2014 World Cup? Bill Hammond or Tim Howard?
Tim Howard.
That is
Timmy.
correct.
He's on it.
I'm on this. What's up, Coach?
I don't know. You kind of pump
I'm a
faked
little
it
slow,
right there.
yeah.
Look, I was nervous.
I know.
I
I saw you.
gonna lie.
You were going to let him have it, and then you just didn't ring it.
No.
All right, question number 3. This is the last multiple choice, okay? Where will the 2018 World Cup games be held? Croatia or Moscow?
Moscow.
That is correct. It will be 2018 is in Russia.
Perfect.
All right.
That's
Score
great.
right now is at 2-1. Ready?
That's a good spot for it, too, right? Russia? Moscow? Cool.
Question number 4. Question number 4. What piece of equipment is required to wear for a soccer player? I read that
Shin guards.
wrong, but yes, it is shin guards. Of
course.
You are required to wear those.
Yeah.
Pretty much the only equipment you're
Required
kind
to
of
wear?
required to wear.
I
You
got
might
little
want to wear.
shorts.
You might want.
Well, yeah,
well,
shirts
there's
and a
some
shirt,
things
yeah.
that you know.
Yeah.
You
Those are a
have
given,
to
right?
kind of wear. You know, shoes would be nice too. But
Yeah.
last question before we go to break. Question number 5. The person who officiates a soccer game is called a what?
Referee.
That is correct.
Oh, that was a trick question.
Not really, because there's an umpire for baseball, and
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
there's a.
I thought it was too. I thought it was gonna be something like a samurai or
yeah.
something that was, like, unexpected.
You know, those samurais officiating the soccer games. You might want to watch out for
They're
them.
always called-
So we don't see that a whole lot of that
Nobody
in South
argues with
Georgia.
them, though.
Yeah, well, because you'll lose.
Oh wow, is he winning right now?
Right now, Coach is up 3-2. See if Theo can come back and win it here on the second end of it. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the second portion of our trivia game. Theo versus everyone. Right now, Coach, up 3-2. Theo, you got to come back. But right before we go, Coach, we were talking a little bit about your history with physics, and you said you taught yourself physics.
Pretty much, yeah. I had a little bit in college, but they signed me up for physics, so I just got the physics book and worked every problem in the book and said, if I can do that, then I got it.
Ever since then, it was kind of like a match made in heaven.
I guess so, yeah.
All right.
That's amazing.
Wow.
That's amazing.
I'll tell you right now, definitely got me. But right now, Coach, obviously up 3-2.
Okay, here we go.
There's a 4-point possibility, but only 3 questions left. Let's see who pulls it
comeback
out.
time, right?
Comeback.
Ready? Question number 6. The start of a basketball game begins with a tip-off. How do you start off a soccer game?
Kickoff.
Don't say you missed shin guards. So let's not sit here and act like now.
Like, I got nervous. I thought it might have been called something else.
Jumped on that one.
Like a kick away or something. Look, kickoff. I know this. It's not.
Other word for away. Who won the 2014 World Cup with a 1-0 victory over Argentina?
That's easy.
Yet you're not ringing the bell.
Let him have it.
Thank you.
What's up?
What's up?
I guessed that one.
Did you really? Did you really? Wow.
That was a good
That
guess.
was- it was a good guess. I mean, yeah. All right, Coach.
I'm behind
Last
now.
chance
Okay.
to win right here.
Yeah.
Last question is
Okay, here we
worth
go.
2 points.
Okay.
So you can win or I can.
Oh,
take
I'm
the double.
sorry. There's
could just
2
kill me.
questions left.
2
I
questions
apologize.
left.
I was wondering. I was looking over here going, wait a minute. He's got it. I got it wrong. I just have 1 card left, but
He's
there's 2
answering.
questions
He's
on it.
answering.
Okay. here we
I am super excited for these next 2 questions, people. In 2017, the FIFA Council agreed to expand the number of teams in the World Cup. Can you wait?
Just keep going. I'm not gonna get it. Just
To
keep going.
48. How many teams are currently allowed?
Ooh. I know this.
36?
Oh, no.
I know what it is, though.
32.
There you
Boom.
go. There you go.
Only knew it because he said that. That's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. That's called what do
That
you
was
call
doing math wrong.
It's called
physics.
peripheral vision. That is correct. Right now, Coach, you can still tie, and then
Still tie.
we don't know what to do after that. But, Coach, if you tie, then you
Ask
can
a
say
physics
you tied.
question. No,
If he
don't do
knows
that,
one.
please.
Or about the samurais that are refereeing
go.
these games now. Last question, number 9, for 2 points. The women's national team has won 3 Women's World Cups. How many has the men's national team won?
None.
0. Yeah.
That is correct.
This guy gets it.
It's a tie.
Oh no.
Look at that. All right, don't worry. I've got one more question.
Oh.
No, I don't.
I was about to say.
Well, it's a tie.
It's a tie.
I guess
take
we
it.
will do this.
we do this in soccer though. A draw. This is
We kind of go to
Yeah.
extra
It's not
time
a
and then
region game,
PKs.
so what is
So.
called a draw?
no
Yeah.
region games. you
No
know,
region
No,
games.
no playoffs or anything.
No playoffs. If it was a PK, of course he would have won.
And if I was a samurai, I could officiate this game a little
I'm
better.
not doing this anymore. All right? Thank you so much, Coach, for playing me. I
Thank you
still
so
got
much,
you though.
Coach.
After this, we're going to come back and talk a little bit more about that 2017 magical run you guys had, the best run in Lee County girls soccer history. So stick around. You want to see that. Welcome back into Sports Talk. I'm joined by 10-year coach of Lee County girls soccer, Dave Baltenberger, who, and it's fitting, this is our first soccer show that we've done centered around soccer, it's fitting that trivia ends in a draw.
There you go.
The sport notorious for that, and hockey notorious
scores,
for
yes.
low scores and draws. Even though we got pretty high. I think I got 5.
Yeah, I get 5 to 5. Yeah,
5 to 5.
That's pretty good.
Pretty good for
We
two
did
guys
good.
that don't necessarily watch soccer all the time.
Exactly. We're too busy, right?
Yeah. But I'm proud of us for our,
We did great.
our efforts
We
there.
did good.
Also, got to be proud of what the Lee County girls soccer team did in 2017.
Yes.
You guys had an 18-2 season,
Yes.
a Final Four finish, the first ever in program history, and it was a run. Many of people, it was close in the Final Four game as well.
It was.
That close to being in the state championship game. Can you describe what clicked, what worked last year to get this team to that apex?
Wow, we just had, again, just a lot of really good players that played well together. We had a rock-solid defense. We had a keeper who played all 4 years. She started when she was a freshman. She hurt herself one year, but she was always there. And we had scoring. We had everything. It was just a good combination of players that played really well together.
Yeah, and I noticed that when I remember I covered the team, and this is a story, I think this is actually some footage from the story I did. They really seem to, and like a lot of good teams do, they really seem to enjoy being around each other, and they seem to have a lot of good camaraderie. Can you describe what the personalities were like inside of that locker room?
Yeah, it's just, like I say, a lot of really good kids. They're all good students. They're all good players. They're all good athletes, and they got along well together. Had a lot of fun together. To me, that's really important in sports. It's not always about just push, and be all nervous. It's about having fun and going out there and just playing your best. And if you play your best, then good things will happen.
Good things happened, and that did. Under the water tower out there at Trojan Field, good things happened all season last year and this year as well. I want to speak to you, though, about soccer coaching again.
Yes.
Because, again, what you've done kind of amazed me. You're self-taught in physics somewhat.
Somewhat, yeah.
Self-taught in soccer somewhat, but when it comes to the soccer aspect, when you did kind of pick up and start taking soccer coaching seriously, what did you use to become a good, because today if I wanted to become a good soccer coach, I don't know what I'd do, go to YouTube or something.
Right.
What did you do?
I mean, I read a lot. Like I say, you can watch all kinds of stuff online, but I went and talked to people locally. I mean, I know, Allie at Deerfield, I know Phelan's at Darton, those people I know. You just watch them coach and talk to them and learn from your players. I mean, they play a lot of soccer. You can learn a lot from them. And so then you just pick it up and just be yourself.
Yeah. Have you ever had a moment out there? Because I can imagine if I tried to walk into a classroom and teach physics, I probably would learn something from a student where I'm like, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Was there a moment?
That happens all the time. And to me, you got to admit that, just go with it. I learn stuff every day as a teacher and as a coach. And that's all part of growing up and being an adult, you're willing to learn.
Yeah.
And I'm always willing to learn. So I learned something this year, we picked up something from another team we played this year, watched them do something and said, I like that. So next thing you know, we're doing it. So
smooth.
Yeah, you just learn all the time.
Always learn, always
learning.
An open book and always willing to pick up from things.
Exactly.
For you were also willing to pick up and move. You're a Louisville, Kentucky native. What's the difference there between Louisville and the South Georgia that you've noticed?
Well, the weather's a little different. Yeah. It's a little hotter and more humid down here, but I mean, it's still the South, but this is the South, and so you get really good people, and you can easy to make friends. Yeah. And it's just a good place to live. We've lived here since 1990, and we've raised our family here basically. Our son was a little over 2 when we moved, and so all our kids grew up here, born here. Yeah. So,
and I asked you that. There's a point in me asking you that again because I'm going back to the fact that now, you're retiring from at least soccer coaching.
Right.
Soon you'll probably retire from teaching at some
Eventually,
point.
yeah.
So, what is it that you're going to find yourself doing out here? What have you liked since you've gotten down here?
Gosh, that's a good question. I don't know. I mean, I like doing other things, like woodworking and things like that. So who knows? I don't know. I'll teach myself something else, I guess.
Of course, that's what I was about to say. Because look, we got cameras here. We got some things that you can learn and pick up here.
I'll come work with you. There you go.
There it is. You can come join the sports talk team.
I'll do it. Yeah.
As long as you don't beat me at trivia, because that's my pet peeve.
We got the tie though. So
we're all good there.
We're all good.
And then lastly, I do got to ask you. You guys are in the process of finding your replacement.
Yes.
Of course, maybe you don't know everything on that, but what's that process like? For
they're going to interview this week and talk to some people. There have been some good people apply. I'm sure there'll be a good candidates, and somebody will come in and do a lot better job than me probably, and take that thing to the next level, and it'll be great. Lee County soccer's been good for a long time, and it'll be good a long time after I'm gone. So
that's great. Well, big shoes to fill. Thank you again so much for coming in, Coach Baltenberger.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
Good luck with the kids at Lee County High School.
Exactly.
Keep molding them well. You guys keep watching. I appreciate you for tuning in. We'll have more sports talk for you next week. Good night.